Once you've got your part into a drawing, now it's time to start adding some dimensions. I'm going to click over here onto the annotations toolbar, and the very first item there is a smart dimension. Click on smart dimension, and I'm going to go through and start adding some dimensions. So let's zoom in on our part here, and we want to first determine where our datums are going to be. Where are we going to start our dimensions from? So generally, you want to choose one edge of your drawing as your datum in the X and one datum in the Y that you can start adding dimensions from. So in this case here, I'm going to choose this one on the far left-hand side. That's going to be my first dimension, and then I'm going to start dimensioning from that edge to individual components. For instance, from that edge to this hole here, and then I have a dimension I can place right down here at the bottom. Do the same thing with other dimensions. I can click on this point here, to this hole right here, and add that dimension. Same thing over here. How about to this arc here? And it's going to go to the center point of that arc. How about to this one up here? So from this edge here, go ahead and just click on either one of those holes. And I can place this one up above if I'd like. And I can click on individual faces or edges. Same thing. How about over here, from here to there, and place the dimension. From here to there, and all the way across my part, I'm going to be adding what's called baseline style dimensioning. So I'm going to be starting from a baseline and then drawing and making dimensions from that point all the way across my part. I also have the option to mix and match my dimensioning styles. Now, for instance, here, instead of dimensioning from the baseline, I could delete that one and I could create a dimension from the first hole to the second hole. And then that would be more relevant for hole-to-hole spacings. So the spacing here, I might take that and change the tolerance to be a 2-place decimal, so it's not quite as critical. But from hole to hole, it still is critical, and so we're going to try to make sure that we hold the hole-to-hole spacing at a 3-place decimal, and then from the first edge, it's only going to be a 2-place decimal. If you need to add in something like a center mark or something like that, go up here to center mark, and I'm going to turn off document defaults, turn off extension lines, and then click right here. You can see it's going to add a little point here. I can do the same thing for some of these other holes. That makes it a little bit clearer that I'm trying to dimension the center point of these holes. And then click on OK. If we want to go in the other direction, let's go ahead and click on that smart dimension one more time. This time I'm going to use this bottom edge here as my baseline. Start from there and then start dimensioning up. So from here to there is the first dimension. I could then dimension from here and make a chain dimension from item to item, and then maybe from the first one here to the second one there, and then from the first one there all the way to the last one. It's a good way to dimension holes because the relevancy from hole to hole stays true, and then my dimension from an edge to a hole is a separate dimension that I'm calling out right here. Same thing I can do over here is from that baseline to this center hole here and place that dimension again. And we just want to arrange our dimensions so they look logical and clear. I can also add dimensions on the other side of my part if I'd like. I can click from that baseline dimension, maybe up here to this hole here, and type in 1.25, but I've already got that dimension over here. So instead of typing it twice, you might want to just click on this dimension here, go over here to the edit text and type in 2x. That's going to let everybody know that there's 2 holes with that same dimension. Then I can come over here and delete this one because it was a little bit cluttered anyways. Keep going and dimension from this baseline here, maybe up to this part here. I can also add some center points. So for instance, on this little arc right here, I might want to specify where the center point of that arc is or where the virtual sharp of that arc is. To do so, click on one of the lines here, hold down Control on your keyboard, pick the other line, and then come up to Sketch and click on this little point. And it will automatically put what's called a virtual sharp right there. I can then dimension from the baseline to the virtual sharp to get that dimension. Once you've got most of the dimensions here, I can always go back and continue adding more and more dimensions to fully define this drawing. And I definitely will. However, I might want to add another projected view. So in this case here, let's go over to View Layout, Projected View, and let's go ahead and take a look at the right-hand side of that part and maybe the top as well. Once you've got those views there, let's go back to our Smart Dimension toolbar, and now let's specify the width of the part. And up here on the top, I might want to specify from this edge here to this hole here, and maybe from this front edge here also to the center of that hole there. And that's looking pretty good. A couple more to add. Let's add a couple radius dimensions here. So let's go back over to Smart Dimension. How about this radius here? That's an important one. Let's type that out there. And then this dimension here, also an important one. And then I'm going to move this 5-inch dimension here so it's not overlapping. And our drawing's looking pretty good. So that's a combination of both baseline dimensioning as well as some chain dimensioning. But the Smart Dimension tool is pretty much the tool we're going to be using to fully dimension our drawings so we can relay the size and location of these features on our drawings.